Hi, this is Sam. Welcome to this live webinar. It's an early summer's day here in lockdown Cyprus, but the lockdown is over on the 21st, and the world is beginning to move forward again. And these are the three things that we want to look at today: Brexit, Cyprus Tax for expats, and Corona opportunities for us all. Brexit hasn't gone away. The UK has left the EU at the 31st of January, and there's a fast track to do a trade deal by the end of 2020, which is what everything was supposed to be about this year, to get that trade deal done so that we can have some continuity. Meanwhile, we're in a transition period, so nothing appears to have changed except that the UK is not in the EU. And the next deadline is coming up quite rapidly now at the end of June, and what we need for the end of June is to have an agreement in principle. So any agreement needs to be ratified, it needs to be agreed by the 27 heads of state and the parliaments. And of course we'll get the same spin as we did back in 2019 about what a dreadful crisis this will be, and everything needs to be agreed well in advance. This is what we're getting at the moment. So by the end of June, everything needs to be agreed about what the agreement is in principle, so it can all be ratified and put in place for the end of December. So we've got a continuous, streamless transfer from the current transition agreements to the new arrangements from the 1st of January 2021. As we know from all the politics and the game playing between 2015 and 2019, that in fact agreements can be completed and tied up at the very last minute. The agreements are done behind closed doors. The politicians have to make those final handshakes to get the deal done. So at the moment we're being told by the end of June a substantive agreement has got to be in place so that it can go through a ratification process to be enforced, so there's free trade and smooth trade. Now, let's be clear, this is to do with trade for the EU, and it only affects big business. We already know what the agreements are for individuals and business that are working cross-border. So those arrangements are all placed. So if you want the freedom of movement between the UK and the EU, you've still got that. An EU expat needs to relocate to the UK and register before the end of December, or UK expat needs to register in an EU country of residence before the end of December this year, and that will then start a process whereby they can remain in the UK or in the EU as a permanent resident or on settled status, as the UK call it, for the rest of their lives and with their families. That's already agreed, it's in the withdrawal treaty, it's part of law, and so that is something that cannot be undone. It doesn't solve all the problems about what the future, but it solves a lot of the problems. The other issues expats need to consider is healthcare. That agreement has been made, but the most of the deal that needs to be done is a trade deal. Now, will the UK and the EU settle a full trade deal by the end of December? Probably not. Will they settle it by the end of June? Certainly not. But they'll come up with enough so that they've got a status quo that can, or a position that can carry on from the 1st of January next year. The UK have already announced what their tariffs will be. So, because let's not forget, in business, the EU is a free trade zone within the EU. But for anybody importing into the EU, there's very high tariffs and very high barriers that are put on that. Now, the UK have announced that they're cutting some tariffs from the 1st of January already next year. What they mean is they're not going to operate at the EU level, they're going to operate at a different level. What this will mean for UK citizens and for EU expats living in the UK is that prices could go down from stuff imported from around the world, where the EU pay high tariffs for stuff, materials and goods from Brazil or USA or China or Russia. So around the world goods could have some tariffs reduced as they come into the UK. This is part of the trade agreement problems that the UK and the EU have got. So they've already gone full published. They both put their opening positions into the public domain and let them sort it out. No doubt that there will be a deal of sorts, and let's find out what it is, and let's find out if the corona crisis has any substantial impact on governments as they try to focus on a way forward. If you want your freedom and you want to relocate before the end of the year, and you've got issues with residency or tax, contact us at proactpartnership.com. We've got a Brexit checklist which you can download from our website. Go there to find out more. The world didn't stand still during Brexit. Hell no. But it appeared that way with Cyprus Tax. So the Cyprus Tax returns for 2019 were quite difficult. There've been self-assessment all the way through, but the final return wasn't decided upon until late in 2019. And finally, from the 1st of June, the returns can be put in. Now, the returns were supposed to be submitted, completed by the end of June, like the football season. That will probably be extended by a month or two to allow people to do that. The big thing for expats to consider is that in these returns, for the first time, the Cyprus health tax is applicable. Whether you qualify for the Cyprus Health Service or not, there is an additional tax, which was 1.7% from March 2019. Now, it's supposed to go up in March this year, and it's a very confusing situation on that. But essentially, let's assume the simple version is it goes up in 2020 to 2.65% from July this year. So that's tax on worldwide income. So if you've got rental property around the world, if you've got dividend income around the world, if you've got employed income in a foreign location, technically, as a Cyprus tax resident, you're declaring your worldwide income. This tax is due and payable on all those items, originally before the end of June, but now maybe with a month or two's delay. So any help in registering that income, registering for tax and registering to do online returns and get them submitted on time, and guidance on what amount of tax you may need to pay, contact us at proactpartnership.com or look out for our healthcare guide at our website at proactpartnership.com in our shop page. And Corona. Well, what about the crisis? The death toll in the UK has been among the highest in the world, but has been higher than countries that have had different types of lockdown or no lockdown at all. This we won't know until a couple of years' time. But we've got in our lockdown, Proact, being locked down in Cyprus, the situation, we can see what the situation is there. And Cyprus is a couple of months ahead of, a few weeks ahead of the UK. And it's quite interesting comparing the two approaches. The UK is very much full of paranoia in the media about this, the consequence of this and the consequences of that and what the concerns are. But in Cyprus, we can see with the lockdown lifted, what is happening after the event. The consequences of the lockdown are quite severe. Yes, they save lives from corona deaths, but what about the consequential loss of business, of jobs, to the mental health, to the people that were frail physically and ill health, that the added strain of the lockdown has put on them? What about all those consequences for the lives of people that are living there? This is the interesting scenario. So what has happened as a lockdown has been released, a two-stage lockdown? Between the first and the second stage, complete disregard started to float in. People rushed out. They rushed to the beaches, they rushed to the shops, they rushed into the traffic and into the cars, and they rushed back to work. Yes, everybody is applying social distancing, everybody is being careful, you know, there's no obvious social contact, but standing 6 feet, 2 meters away from somebody having a conversation is not unreasonable. Do people need hugs all the time? Some people, it can help, but we can get by with those things, and so that it's plain to see that there's quite severe scarring that's been left on people by this house arrest that they've effectively been under for 2 months now. But it still presents a different opportunity. Post-corona, yes, we've got a recession. You don't need people in the media to tell you you've got a recession. A recession is a technical term where trading falls in 1 or 2 quarters. Well, of course it's going to fall if everybody's locked down and can't trade. So please don't focus on that nonsense. Focus on the opportunity. The centre of the big cities and the industries weren't bombed to rubble like they were after the Second World War. A whole generation weren't wiped out as they were during the First World War, with a number of people killed, or by Spanish flu in 2018. Everything has just been put on hold, and that's been released. People have saved money, they've not spent as much, and they've still got pent-up desire to meet friends, to socialise, to look after the home, to maintain and repair and upgrade it, and also to socialise. So that pent-up demand is there. That there is obviously an impact as people lose jobs and income, but they will come back. But there's still enough pent-up demand with people that with accumulated wealth, savings or pension or investment income to get the economy going, and that pent-up demand can come back into place. The longer we delay, the more damage and harm can be done to the people that are being restricted from leaving a normal life. So hopefully we will learn from this, but there's a great opportunity going forward for expat business and families to look forward to a bright future and a period not like the post-2008 financial recession of austerity, but a recession more akin to a recovery more akin to what happened after World War II, where there's a lot of pent-up demand went back into the economy, and with enthusiastic consumers, be they employees or businesses, going out there, investing in new business, new opportunities and new ideas, and that's the way forward. And if you want more guidance on how to adjust your business for Corona, to take advantage of the opportunities going forward across border, contact us at productpartnership.com. Thanks for listening. Let us have your questions, and then maybe we'll feature those next time. Thanks for listening, and have a very happy weekend, whatever you might be doing. Thank you.